Okay, well, I figured out how to rotate the screen, so now it's going to be in landscape. What we're going to do, we're going to take the pump out here, take the hoses out, put new hoses in, pack it with grease or petroleum jelly, and put it all back together. First things first, pop the hoses out. We need to cut all the zip ties off. This one's been replaced before, that one hasn't, but it does look like this one's been leaking. I'll do this one first though. I'm only going to do one on video. So, and there's some water also. That out of the way. Paper towel, a couple paper towels. Just keep the wall over here with me. These are tiny Allen heads too. It does not come into the set, that comes with the drone. So I get these off Amazon. They're just drill bits. Take that off, move it out of the way. These hoses off. And now, to get back in there, it's easier if you have a longer extension. Pumps off. Start assembling it. 2 screws on the bottom. One long one here, right there in the middle. Now you can separate the pump. Take the top piece out. First hose, that one slid on there very good. Come right out. Next piece, this right here, one thing you do need to keep track of, this tiny little thing, that's what clamps your hose in. So when the pump's turning around there, it will pull that hose out if you don't have these clamps in, so be sure you keep track of that. This piece out. I recommend using or having rubber gloves when you do this. I don't have any right now, so I'm just gonna get dirty. So drop that screw out, put that there, wipe off all the old nasty grease. Put all new back in. Move that out of the way, that way it doesn't get any liquid down in the electrical connection. That. Pull the other hose out. Should just come straight out. Try to do this in a way I don't get as much grease on me. Still gonna get some on you. I recommend not wearing clothes you care about when you're redoing these. You probably won't be able to see it in the video, but it's starting, the hose itself is starting to fail right in there. Eventually it would split and then it'd just leak into the motor or into the squeeze pump. But put new hoses on it, should be fine for a while. All right. Let's get everything apart. Feel this piece. Feels fine. And then clean the grease out. Nasty shit. Get as much out as you can. You're not going to get everything. It's just part of it. And there's another one of these pieces down in there. So make sure that stays down in there because it can come out. Grab another paper towel. Finish getting the rest of the grease out. Shove that paper towel in there and then I just rotate it around. Try to get as much out as possible. Dad got a new backdrop for shows, so he put that up while I was messing around rebuilding the other arm here. So you don't have to look at hoses and junk and everything else that's in the background. So, after you get that cleaned out, it comes with grease. So this little package I send with you is not really enough. I mean, that's, and you'll see once I start packing it in there, that is not a lot. So what you do, take my wedding ring off, but petroleum jelly, people at Dollar General will look at you funny when you go in there and buy them out of it. But get a tub of petroleum jelly, take a scoop with your fingers, take it and shove it down in between the rollers here and inside. Rotate it around, grab another scoop. A little bit more in there. Shove that down in there. Grab some more here. And this is why I recommend having gloves. All right. Pretty well got it filled up in there. Push it down in. Wipe my hands off. And then we'll get to putting hoses in. Down, clean off the excess on the outside where the bolts are going to go through too. When you push it through there with thread lock, you're not pushing grease through. All right, good to go. Alright, first hose, it's going to be the elbow down. Slide this piece in. Oh, come on, my hands are a little bit slippery from grease. Push that all the way in until it butts up. And I take it, start it on its first one right there, and then you can just rotate it around. So just like that. Slide her down in there. Then I take something, push that hose on down in there just a little bit if needed, just so it sits down in there. This piece goes in, slides into there just like this piece. It's down all the way. Take this, slide it down, and that's what locks this along with this little piece right here is what clamps that hose to keep it from pulling out as that rotates around. It's the same as that piece. Just slide that down. Put that down in. Bolt, go get my thread lock. Got some junk down in there, so we're just going to clean that out a little bit. Thread lock on. grease out because I saved that grease. I throw it in my travel box. Just have to replace a hose on the go, and I don't have to pack a big tub of petroleum jelly. That's what I use little grease packages for. All right. Back this off just a hair because when you tighten that up, it'll pull in on that side. All right, next one. Take your little piece here, set it down in. You can see a little cutout there that fits down into. Push that just right down in there so it sets in. Take your straight piece. The longer barb goes on the outside. This barb goes on the inside, the shorter one. That's where it clamps. Okay. This one's a little bit harder because you can't just freely spin that. But get her started. Just kind of squeeze that hose. Hopefully you get enough grease in there. You can just slide around. There we go. All right. Get her all the way through. Just need to pull it just a little bit more. Oh, it's kind of coming off my nipple there. Yeah, all right. I'll show you what I use this for in a minute. Alright, after you get that shoved up in there flush, just slides down over that piece. Get that. Slide that in. It slides over and locks in, just like that. The longer piece that clamps down on that hose barb. Push that in. Alright. Then you take your long bolt, get your thread lock. I'm retarded. That's going the wrong way. Oh, no, I'm not retarded. Okay. I'm gonna put the motor on top. Alright. So, clean this real quick. Some of that excess junk off there. All right, so you can see how this piece is facing. We need to make that line up with it. But first, what I'm going to do, take that off there. And I take the 3/8 ratchet with the extension on, and I just spin that around, spin that pump. What I found is if you don't do this, put everything back together, the pump will just kind of be seized in there, and when you try to kick it on, it gives you a pump overflow or overcurrent warning, and won't want to work. But if you just spin it around a few times and work it, by the time you put that motor on there, it'll be freed up and able to freely spin. So, put the top piece on, put this on, all that's back together. Now we can come in from the bottom with this. That is aluminum you're screwing into, so just be careful when you're tightening that down. You don't want to overdo it. You will strip that out. All right. Next, 2 screws that go on the back side here. Underneath, right there. All right. Pop this back together. Get some of this junk off here. All right. Thread lock on everything. Just get them snug at first, that way you can move that pump around if you need to. Get her lined up with the other holes. All right, she's mounted. Put my hands a little bit better. Yeah, these things don't need very much at all. I'm not even dripping it on there. I'm just using the excess that's on the nipple of the bottle to just kind of wipe it on the sides of the screws. Just to give it a little bit there. Alright, got that. Just down in, tighten them up. These, you know, don't have to be super tight, just snug. Alright. These zip ties. Short one goes to the bottom. Longer one up top, slide her all the way in. There is a little rubber diaphragm in there we'll replace too. I think I have some here. But there's not much room to get these on. They can be kind of a pain, but just work them in and they'll eventually go. Got past the second little barb there, so that's all good. Hands are greasy. I'm gonna have to get a set of pliers to get that tight. There we go. That is it. Now I know people that run hose barbs on these. If we're in the middle of, or if we're in spray season, and I'm not switching anything out, I'll put cable ties on them. But anyways, you can just throw them on there. Typically they're fine. That's that.